Prunella Scales is one of those rare figures in British entertainment whose legacy stretches far beyond the screen. She embodies an entire era of wit, intelligence, and grace that continues to define the best of British performance. Her career, which spans more than 6 decades, is not merely a resume of roles. It is a portrait of dedication to her craft, a lifelong devotion to storytelling, and an unwavering belief in the quiet power of truth in performance. To speak of Prunella Scales is to remember an artist whose presence feels eternal, someone whose voice, humor, and humanity left an indelible mark on the cultural memory of Britain. Born Prunella Margaret Rumney Illingworth in Sutton Abbey, Surrey, on June 22, 1932, Scales grew up in a time when the arts were both respected and uncertain. Her parents encouraged her to express herself, and from a young age, she was drawn to the world of performance, fascinated by its ability to capture the subtleties of human life. She studied at the Old Vic Theatre School in London, where her natural instincts for timing, emotion, and voice were honed into something exceptional. From the start, Scales showed that she wasn't interested in being a celebrity. She wanted to be an actor, and there is a vital difference between the two. The 1950s and 1960s saw her emerge as one of the most promising actresses of her generation. She performed in theater productions across England, earning respect for her precision and emotional control. But it was television, a medium then still in its formative years, that introduced her to a national audience. Scales had that rare ability to be both refined and relatable, making her a perfect fit for the evolving landscape of British entertainment. She appeared in numerous dramas and comedies throughout the early part of her career, but it was her portrayal of Sybil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers, 1975 to 1979, that would forever define her place in television history. Sybil Fawlty remains one of the greatest comedic characters ever written, and Scales' performance elevated her beyond the script. While John Cleese's Basil Fawlty was manic, neurotic, and desperate, Scales' Sybil was composed, sharp, and utterly in control. Her clipped tones, her piercing laugh, her perfect delivery of biting one-liners, all contributed to a dynamic that was as hilarious as it was believable. She wasn't simply playing a role. She was embodying a type of British womanhood that audiences instantly recognized. In Sybil, Scales managed to mix affection and authority, exasperation and elegance, in a way that few actors could. Her work on Fawlty Towers became legendary, and though the show only produced 12 episodes, its influence has been immeasurable. It remains one of the most beloved sitcoms in history, and every time someone replays those episodes, Scales' performance feels as fresh as ever. She once said that she never expected the show to have such longevity, but that is precisely what makes her performance so timeless. She didn't act to be remembered, she acted to tell the truth. And in doing so, she created something immortal. Outside of Fawlty Towers, Scales enjoyed an extraordinary career that few actors could rival. On stage, she appeared in productions ranging from Shakespearean classics to contemporary dramas. Her theater work was often described as nuanced, deeply felt, and fearless. Critics praised her for her ability to disappear into roles, to make audiences forget they were watching Prunella Scales and instead see a living, breathing human being. She worked with some of the finest theater companies in the country, including the Royal Shakespeare Company, and her performances were marked by intelligence and emotional clarity. In film, Scales brought her distinct blend of subtlety and warmth to projects such as Howard's End, 1992, An Awfully Big Adventure, 1995, and The Boys from Brazil, 1978. Though often cast in supporting roles, she never treated them as secondary. She had a gift for making even the smallest moments matter. Every glance, every pause, every word she spoke carried weight. She once said that acting wasn't about pretending, but about understanding, about finding what was real within the imagined. That belief guided her through a lifetime of performances that never felt artificial or exaggerated. Perhaps one of the most beautiful chapters in her life has been her enduring partnership with fellow actor Timothy West. Married in 1963, their relationship became a symbol of both artistic and personal unity. They acted together frequently, both on stage and screen, in productions such as Great Canal Journeys, where they invited audiences into their shared life of travel, reflection, and quiet companionship. Their marriage stood as a rare example of love lasting through the trials of fame, age, and time. Watching them together was a lesson in grace. The way they supported one another, completed each other's sentences, and found joy in simply being together spoke to something deeply human. In later years, as Scales began to face the challenges of Alzheimer's disease, that bond became even more visible. Timothy West has spoken openly about his wife's illness, not as a tragedy, but as another chapter in their story. He described her resilience, her flashes of humor, her enduring love for the stage even as memories faded. Through his words, the world has seen the strength and dignity with which Scales continues to live her life. Even as she stepped back from acting, she remained an inspiration, a reminder that identity and artistry are not erased by time or illness. Her impact on the next generation of performers cannot be overstated. Many young actors, particularly women, cite Scales as a model for how to build a career based on integrity and consistency rather than spectacle. She showed that an actor's greatest tool is not their fame, but their craft. That longevity comes not from chasing trends, but from mastering the timeless. In interviews, she often emphasized humility and discipline, reminding aspiring actors that the true joy of performance comes not from applause, but from connection. And that, perhaps, is the essence of Prunella Scales' legacy. She connected. Whether it was through comedy, drama, or simple conversation, she made people feel something real. Her laughter was infectious, her expressions unforgettable, and her presence magnetic. Even when she wasn't speaking, she communicated. Through the tilt of her head, the narrowing of her eyes, the quiet intelligence that always seemed to be at work behind her smile. Scales' career represents something greater than personal success. It represents the history of British acting itself, from post-war theater to the golden age of television, through the evolution of modern drama. She stood as a bridge between generations, between the old and the new, between tradition and change. Her artistry was proof that the simplest truths, love, humor, honesty, are the ones that endure. Today, her performances continue to captivate. Fawlty Towers reruns still draw laughter from audiences across the world. Her stage work is remembered by those lucky enough to have seen it live. Her film roles continue to be studied by actors who admire her precision and depth. And beyond the performances, there is the woman herself, dignified, humble, and endlessly kind. Prunella Scales once said that acting was about trying to show the audience something about themselves. In that sense, her career was a mirror, reflecting humanity back at us, reminding us to laugh at our own absurdities, to cherish our connections, and to find grace in imperfection. Her artistry endures not because she tried to be perfect, but because she understood the beauty of being human. As time passes and her body of work remains, Prunella Scales stands as a testament to the lasting power of authenticity. She has brought laughter to millions, inspiration to countless performers, and warmth to every scene she ever touched. Her name will always belong to that sacred list of artists who made people feel, and that, in the end, is the highest achievement an actor can reach. Thank you for joining us in celebrating the life and legacy of Prunella Scales, an icon, an artist, and a woman whose brilliance transcends time. Her laughter still rings in our hearts, her words still resonate, and her spirit continues to shine through every performance. If her story moved you, take a moment to revisit her work, share her memory, and remember what she taught us through her art, that kindness, humor, and truth will always outlast the moment.